Fix the TV.
Back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
A package that wasn't as competitive as we had all hoped. There was that big hope to be as quick as Max, a little bit better. Exposed a weakness of mine, a weak spot of mine. My driving style exposed a weakness of mine, a weak spot of mine to drive fast. COVID started to wear off. To be honest, I never wanted to be in Formula One.
Let's go, man! I got you!
It's backseat drivers time. Good evening and welcome to Backseat Drivers number 27 for 2023, the Somebody Got Married edition. To talk about how Max is going to win this weekend and maybe some IndyCar stuff, because I forgot to put the IndyCar race in the show, whatever, notes about that. But we'll get into that and many more topics about racing, especially the big news that's just come out. Everyone can calm down. We do know the Haas lineup for next year. It's, yeah. Anyway, to talk about that, we have Matt.
I was also losing sleep about not knowing the Haas lineup. So I can sleep easy tonight.
Is that why you got some fancy blue shades?
It's why I also have fancy blue shades.
I thought it was for some other reason, but, you know.
They just give them to anybody.
Yeah, well, when you're picking them, I suppose you don't get the dorky colours. I noticed, you know, I'm sure this was not a coincidence.
Some of them may have been deliberately picked.
I thought there was some interesting placements on there. But we'll see how Boovy went with his. Oh, you got the nice red ones.
Yeah, no. G'day.
Well, have we all seen the big news that's just come out?
No, I haven't. I've only just
Haas's
heard about
exciting lineup for next year.
Is it exactly like last year's lineup, except now it's got a hat?
Well, one of them's got dyed hair.
Oh, yeah, he does too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I have to take that off. Sorry, guys, I had to take them off. It's just too dark.
I don't mind this tint. This is a...
Yeah.
The blue tint's okay. The dark red's a different story.
Yeah. I've got the nostalgic tint. Rose-coloured glasses.
Rose-coloured.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Maybe that's what the Gunter and the guys at Haas had on when deciding on their lineup. Yeah.
Did they just think we can't do any worse?
Well, they could do worse. I mean, they did have... No, they didn't have Sorokin, did they? They had... who was the other one?
Mazepin.
Oh, old Mazepin.
Yes.
Pronunciation.
The reflection's very
Yeah.
distracting from the screen into my eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, like they have had the Schumacher and Mazepin lineup was pretty ordinary.
Yeah.
But then, kind of, what's the point?
Are they waiting for someone, Dave? Because I know in like other sports, you sort of like sit and go, "Don't worry," because I know such and such will be out of contract soon, and we can try to, steal. Or there's a rookie driver coming up that we can be like, "Hey, do you want to drive on an F1 team? You're not good enough for Red Bull, but you're definitely good enough for Haas."
Exactly. Like you've got all the guys from F2.
But I mean, there's plenty that you could give a shot.
Yeah.
But it seems that they've kind of gone for this middle of the road experience lineup, and I don't see the point of it. Like I can understand Sauber's in a bit of a holding pattern with Audi coming in.
Yeah.
I don't. Williams, they're rebuilding. They have got
there's no issues there.
Fairly exciting kind of team leader in Albon for the position they're in. Like Haas can go out and I suppose pick what drivers they want. Sorry.
They can just go muck around and just pick at
Yeah,
least
but
one driver.
yeah, well, they could. Like you've got your experienced guy, either pick Magnussen or Hulkenberg. They're kind of interchangeable, really. Go give Dragovic a run. Sign what's his name that's leading F2 at the moment?
Porsche.
Yeah, sign
Grab
Porsche.
somebody like you've got, or even
Yeah.
Martins. Like they've got
Yeah,
guys in F2. Like give them a shot at least.
Yeah,
If they don't
pluck
work
someone. Like go for an Ilott Lundgaard, someone like that who, although they've got an IndyCar contract, I'm sure they've got an out.
They would if they were going to F1, yeah.
Marcus Armstrong. I'm also, I'd imagine these guys have probably got super licenses because of reasonable results in F2 as well. Like, I don't know exactly, but
it's over a 3-year period, so that would still count.
yeah, but give someone a shot rather than
exactly just sticking with the same guys.
Yeah.
Can we
What's
bring
the
back,
point?
Dave, the odd even, or you do the first half and someone else does the second half of the season? That way we get 4 new drivers.
Well, that's what Red Bull's doing this year.
I don't think that was by choice, Dave. I think that was
more of a necessity.
Yeah. It was quite funny. There's a lot of reports coming out this week that Dan's in line for the 2025 Red Bull seat.
2025. Because 2024.
Because that's the blue seat. Because Perez has a contract for 2024.
As if contracts make any things.
De Vries had a contract for the whole year.
Exactly.
Wait, Dave! I just forgot. Where's Nick now? Oh, he's with Latifi. He's gone to business school. I think that's going to be the new phrase, Dave. If you get fired in the middle of the year, you get sent to
you go to business
school.
Business school.
Exactly.
So how long till Perez gets sent to the University of Mexico to learn?
End of the year, I reckon.
Team management.
But see, also, even like from Haas's position there, you've got Perez that's going to be available at the end of the year. Yeah. Give him a crack. Like
he could be number 1 in Haas. He's never going to be number 1 at Red Bull.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's going to want to extend his career. So why? So it's not like anyone else is shopping around and going to steal Magnussen or Hulkenberg.
No, of course not.
I'm surprised that Hulkenberg still gets another year. I thought he was in there as roof filler. He was just there to fill a gap. He's not needed anymore. Bring someone else in.
Yeah, I think after they had Schumacher trashing a couple of cars last year and costing them a fair bit of crash damage, they went down the safe route.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and you don't want Perez. He'll just spin it out in P1, and they can't afford to lift it out of Monaco.
Perez in that kind of midfield car was a standout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is now he's come up against Max.
Yeah.
Because even when he was at McLaren, he was pretty comparable to Button.
Mm-hmm. It's funny though with Perez. I was reading some articles during the week, and a lot of the articles were basically saying Perez needs this. He's got to accept the fact that Max is the number 1 and he's the number 2.
But he sort of accepted that after his he won 2 races. He thought he was number 1. And then he got demolished for 3, didn't qualify. I would have thought someone took him aside and just said, look, Perez, you had a good run. You started strong, but it's not happening this year. It's probably not happening next year. But in 2025, when you get sent off to Haas or Burger King bonus team, whatever AlphaTauri gets renamed as, Boss Burger Super Race Fanatics team number 1.
Was it Hugo Boss Bulls Racing or something? Whatever it's going to be called.
Something Pepsi Max Delicious Super 1 team.
The Boss Bulls.
The Boss Bulls. The Blue Ox Boss Bulls. And you can be number 1 there. You're just not number 1 for this energy drink.
Yeah.
Also, if I was Monster, I would definitely be buying that team just for shit cannery.
Oh, why not?
I
But
would.
they won't. But they're in. Oh, technically, Red Bull's in a whole bunch of other sports as well. That's the
But
one
if
thing that
they
Monsters isn't
bought
in
it,
F1 properly.
yeah. But if Monster bought it, do they still get their parts from Red Bull?
Probably not.
I'm sure the
The
contracts
contract would,
be
I
torn
would-
up.
I would 100% just relabel everything and just make the liveries look like underneath the Red Bull was just a sticker flapping and it just says Monster underneath it.
Yeah.
Because that'll anger someone. It'll anger someone like Christian Horner because he'll be.
Does Monster have the same kind of sales though? Like,
Oh,
because even
I don't think so. No way.
yeah, because even
the US
say like
they're
coming
bigger.
back to supercars, like it's hard because the spends might not be massively different, but
Yeah.
you've got Red Bull essentially like pouring probably more money into the biggest team in the series. Well, you got Monster that's only on one car,
Yeah.
which granted, yeah, depending on who you listen to with figures and that, they might be spending a similar amount. But then you do see Red Bull on so much more out there, which I would have thought they'd have to be on a similar kind of profit amount or whatever.
I think Red Bull are just on more noticeable things.
Yeah, and
Like
then
Red Bull
because-
do the jumping out of space, the BMX stuff. Monster seem to just do monster trucks. And Coke owns 30%
Yeah.
of Monster.
yeah,
And
but
Jared's
he's-
a fact checker, so I'm going to take his word for it.
I'm
in
pretty sure it is a Coke brand or whatever. But is that like Coke doesn't want to spend that much on marketing, or is that just a pure because Red Bull does outsell it by that much? They have
With
that
energy
much more
drinks,
money
probably.
to do marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
They
Well,
must.
according to this, they are sponsoring certain
Oh, they sponsor about a
other
NASCAR.
round ball teams.
Yeah, Monster has a
in England.
NASCAR. But none of it's, I mean, like Red Bull owns one of the German soccer teams, doesn't it?
They do.
Well,
And they
do,
own an
and also-
American one, and they were in very last stages of owning an English Premier League team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were. It was going to be close, and then their supporters decided, no, we will own it, please. And
It
thank
wasn't.
you.
Was it like a Wrexham deal or like a proper?
No, this was. I think it's the same setup that Germany had, where they have a Red Bull sports team in front of the name,
Ah, okay.
and then
So
the stadium
known
would
as
have been
Red-
called, Red Bull
Red Bull ring.
Kick a ball Oval.
Yeah.
Like
But-
the cleverly named one in F1, the Red Bull,
the Red Bull ring.
Red Bull
Yeah.
ring, which
Yeah.
genius slammed down 12 cans of Red Bull and just went, guys, everyone sit down. I've got an idea. Everyone, okay, we're Red Bull. There's a ring we drive around. Red Bull ring. Thank you very much. I'm going to go home now because I need to have a heart attack.
Well,
Barry for marketing out. Gone.
it was actually, that was the Ostrike ring.
Yeah, the
Originally.
Australian ring. Yeah.
And then it did become the A1 ring when it was sponsored by not A1 Milk Company.
I was going to say
Um,
A1 Bakery or A1
It
Milk.
was I think they were a telephone company in Austria,
Okay.
like a Telstra or Verizon and things like that.
T-Mobile.
Yeah.
So
T-Mobile's
having a
gone though,
creative
hasn't it?
name-
No, that's still around in
Oh,
Europe.
okay.
So having
Oh.
a creative name's not really ever been its strong suit. It's just whoever
No,
sponsors
it
it.
hasn't.
Yeah.
So if we become
Well,
big enough,
originally
Dave-
it was Ostrike ring, which is like Nürburgring and
Something like that.
yeah.
so in the future, Dave, 2030, backseat driver's ring.
Yeah. I'm not sure where we're getting the budget from, but
Well,
To spawn.
dream big, Dave. And then you two could be waving that checkered flag to start the race.
No, you mean end the race.
No, to start the race. I
Yeah,
don't know if you've seen
wasn't
there's a flag, Booby, to start the race. There's a flag to let you know there are 2 laps left, and there is a flag to end the race. From all the movies I've watched, Booby, there's basically a flag for every lap.
special movies.
Special movies, yes, definitely. Special
Netflix
movies.
racing movies. Actually, speaking of Netflix and racing and movies, Brad Pitt's movie has been put on hold because of the writer's strike and the actors strike.
So that's what it's from.
Yep. So they can't continue right now. So bad news. Brad Pitt's going to be on the same amount of points as Nick DeVries by the end of the year as well. So
Nice.
he will also finish 21st in a 20-man race.
DeVries isn't last yet, though, is he?
Well, technically he should be because he's had more races than Dan. And
Dan started later. That's the only
someone else hasn't scored points as well, haven't they?
Sargent.
Yeah.
If Dan finishes 10th, both of them will be equal.
They'll be equal 21st.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
They've actually F1's got Sargent listed in front of DeVries.
Has he had better finishes?
Yeah, I would have thought. Didn't DeVries have a 12th or something? I don't recall Sargent having.
No, Sargent had a 12th or something, didn't he?
Okay. There you go.
Oh, okay. I thought I'd put them both as losers, but that's just me.
We just need like a wet weekend or something for Dan to sneak in and get
some
points. Let's hope he gets like a 7th or something, and
apparently
just jumps a few of the other guys.
11th.
Just jumps everybody.
Well, it maybe gets like a sneaky 5th and ends up like in front of Hulkenberg or something.
Oh, that would be incredible.
How many points he's got to score at least 10 points then, so he needs more than a 5th then, I think.
I'm doing a prediction. I reckon he'll do well in Vegas.
Of course he will. It's Vegas.
Have we all seen the Vegas
Americans...
Red Bull video?
No.
I've seen the photo of it hanging over the top of the building.
Checo shouldn't act. Horner also probably shouldn't act. The best acting was from Danny Ricciardo, who actually just appears as a sticker. Because I don't know if they tell them that they're filming on the day, but it kind of looks like they told Horner 2 days before they started filming, we're going to film. Talk to your wife. She's been in some movies. And then on the day...
Get acting tips off her.
Yeah. Well, she's been in Gran Turismo and Spice World. That's 2 more movies than Mr. G. Spice. Yeah. And basically, I feel like they told Checo on the day. He's like, what are you doing today? And he's like, I don't know. Good. We're filming in a fake elevator.
Seeing as though you're still a driver for us this week.
Yep. You're technically still employed by Red Bull.
Yeah.
You need to do this. But I think they did another one of those old Red Bull helmets on. Is it the Stig? Is it someone else?
Okay, fair enough.
And because I think it was for the filming they did, what was it, a couple of months ago when they did that promotional Red Bull stuff. And they did donuts on the street.
Okay.
And now that you've pointed out the Red Bull one with Ricardo, I think there was an F1 race on at the same time, so it might have been a bit hard for Checo to be in Vegas and in a European country at the same time.
Fair enough.
Dave, he's not fast enough in the actual Red Bull. How's he going to be fast enough to get across an ocean? He's not suddenly and we've seen Dave with the video footage. He's not very good at racing little power boats, so I'd imagine he was back at home.
Maybe that's what they got DeVries doing.
Going to Vegas and ripping up donuts.
Yeah, here is your Red Bull racing car.
Yeah. This is
We have fulfilled our contract obligations.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're done.
Technically, that's all you needed.
Yeah.
I don't know who the other two were, but one of them was like I think he was like a rally driver, monster truck person.
Hmm.
And then they had another woman who was also a race car driver, but she was relegated to flag waver.
Okay.
Is
But
this on YouTube?
yeah, but I think her acting and even the rally drivers was slightly better. Like Checo could have been replaced by a wooden stick. It was that. Like I think she turns up and she's like, "Hey, Checo, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I am here for the event. I mean F1. I mean Vegas, baby. Yeah,
Was
Natural.
that the...
yeah."
Wait a second. How long was it? Did that go for about 7 minutes?
Oh, Booby, you're asking all the difficult questions now.
Of course I am.
All I remember is there was a F1 car on the roof.
Did it start
Checo's
in the
not winning
casino?
the daytime Emmy.
Did it start with the Red Bull inside the casino?
You're on the
Yep, I
casino
saw the Red
or
Bull.
in the casino?
And there's one. Yeah, I just saw the Red Bull on the roof of the thing. I'm just watching it. I'm watching it now. So
It's a masterpiece. But basically, I think they filmed it in like a fake elevator, so it could have literally been filmed anywhere. It could have been filmed at Red Bull, to be honest.
yep.
And Newey could have made the elevator more aerodynamic just for shits and giggles because he's got nothing better to do.
Yep.
I genuinely feel like he's like one of those people at a company that's been there so long that his day starts when he decides. Like he rocks up at like 11 o'clock and there'll be someone going, "What time do you call this, Adrian?" He's like, "It's called Adrian o'clock, and I'll see you in 40 minutes. I've got this newspaper and an important meeting in the smallest office in the building."
Okay.
Don't come to me unless you've got a real problem. What's this?
The two people you're talking about in the casino scene at the roulette table.
Yeah, they say their names on it.
Yeah, Brian Menzies, trophy truck driver.
Trophy truck, that's the one.
Yeah, and Amelia Hartford, actress and race car driver and YouTuber. And she was actually in Gran Turismo.
Oh,
She was the one
There
with
we
the
go.
pink hair.
I am. All I know is the guy from Stranger Things is in it, and Ginger Spice.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave. Getting back to Mr. Newey that obviously turns up at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
If he can't work on next year's car, and he's already done all his homework for this year, what's he doing with himself?
Well,
Because I'd be gloating. I would be ringing up Toto and prank calling him.
Yeah, to an extent though, he can work on the car. You're just limited.
The number of hours and stuff, isn't it?
Well, the wind tunnel hours and the CFD.
The wind tunnel hours, but it doesn't matter. He can
but
still.
this-
He can
Dave,
still draw stuff.
Yeah, 1 hour of Adrian time is like 400 hours of me. If I had a wind tunnel for the entire year and he had string and a straw, he would make a more aerodynamic car than me and a supercomputer and a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
I feel like
although
he
technically
should
now a
be-
lot of the stuff he's done can still be done on CAD as well. Like
Yeah,
he can
but
draw it up, it'll get
he
transferred
should
to CAD,
be-
and it can do the fluid dynamics on. They can do the fluid dynamics as well. There's no.
But
there's no
Wolfie, he can do that with a straw and a pencil. I think he should be capped the amount of how they have wind tunnel capping time.
Well,
I
it should be
think
Adrian
should be-
Newey.
Yeah,
Get
I
10,
think what should
10
happen-
minutes of Newey each
Yeah.
day.
every day he sits at his desk and you've got 10 minutes to ask him questions, and then the FIA come in and they snatch him up and they send him to a cottage that has no internet. He can draw all he likes, but he's got no access to anything.
Here's your paper and crayons.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, he's not allowed to use a ruler anymore. It's all going to be done with what the kids use. So he's got 4
Freehand.
crayons. They're the Red Bull colors, so he can use all the 4 colors of Red Bull: blue, yellow, red, and maybe black. And then that's all he's allowed to use. And I think someone like Toto's allowed to like monitor his minutes and just be like, what was in this meeting? And he's like, I was ordering a sandwich. I'd like to see the video footage of you ordering the sandwich. Because I just feel like he would be like one of those, like a computer place, a developer who's like, you can't tell him what to do. You don't need to. He just turns up, and then every couple of weeks he's like, I designed a new wing. What for? I don't know. Put the wing on a kid's go-kart. I don't care.
Let's just see if it works or not.
Yeah. My kid's got a little go-kart tournament on the weekend. Here you go. Take this. I call it the little RB19.
I did find it interesting. I was listening. I think it was listening to something during the week or last week. Apparently, with your wind tunnel limitations and all that, if you're working on cooling, it doesn't count towards your wind tunnel runs.
What?
Yeah, there's ways around it.
This is where it is
suspect.
This is where it is ridiculous. So it's like all the stuff that isn't part of the cost cap. But apparently Red Bull had spent a massive amount of time playing with like your radiators and the cooling. Radiators and the shape of the radiators and which because you're working on cooling or whatever, but then if you shape them, then you then have an idea of where you need to put the covering around the radiator.
That straight away, you already know that they've put a radiator in and like, oh, we're just testing the cooling. Also, for an unknown reason, our radiator now has like a cool, slick side bit.
It looks exactly the same as a side pod.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a radiator. So shut up, leave us alone.
But the only thing then is like I'm not sure within the cost cap if you had to build like 50 different radiators to test them, I'm sure that would then fall under part of the cost cap. But if you're spending time in the wind tunnel testing cooling, and it can only be testing cooling, you can't be doing runs with aerodynamic parts, whatever.
Stuff, yep.
But apparently that's not part of your limited runs.
But Dave, do they give you like a test? With the wind tunnel with the car, you have the car.
Yeah, so I'd imagine it would be with your body kit or whatever on it.
Yeah, of course it would.
Yeah, you'd still be given like some chassis and say, we need to make sure that the radiator works, but it's also not just creating a wall. And then if you're at that point where you're like, well, the radiator sort of works, but we're concerned that it's creating a vortex above it, we're just going to ask the old man.
We're going to adjust the rate, like you've got the radiator at like 14 degrees. Yeah. Now I'm going to test it at like 14.1 degree. And now I'm going to test it at 14.2 degree.
Yeah, but what's stopping you from like just saying we're just going to hold this old man in the back? He claims he's good at aerodynamics. We're just going to get him to like touch the radiator a little bit, but also he gets some sneaky wind tunnel time. It's not our fault. It's designated radiator time. It's not our fault. He managed to look at it.
That's I found listening to that, you're like, no, how is even like this cost cap and all that kind of stuff?
Of course it is.
No, but as in like, if you're doing radiator testing, is it?
Yep.
Do you have to take it somewhere? And the FIA guy goes, "Yep, that's 20 minutes with the radiator."
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they physically have someone from the FIA at the team
testing,
or like say at the wind tunnels, like the full time, because I'm pretty sure you have to give them a schedule of when you're going to be testing, like when you're going to be using the wind tunnel. What the plan is and all that. But I'd imagine they have access to security cameras, or FIA have installed security cameras on that kind of thing, because they can monitor like the supercomputers and all that when the supercomputers are running for like how much CFD analysis they're doing and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so they can at least see.
Yeah, which then I suppose where it becomes a bit of a like, who knows if Adrian Newey has a supercomputer in his basement at home?
That's true. You don't know.
And this is where it gets hard. Like Mercedes, everything's happening at Brackley or whatever. But
Yep.
who's to say there isn't something at, Stuttgart
Yeah,
that's
who knows what's happening?
doing anything
Yeah, who knows what's happening in
100%,
Germany?
someone like Adrian Newey, if he's anything like the IT companies I've worked for, and Booby, you'll agree with me, anyone that senior will have recreated either a workspace or an office environment in their house, which will be
Trust me.
similar to what they are used to working in the office.
See, Newey's a bit of a special case because he still draws by hand.
Yeah.
So that's a bit harder, but he's probably the easiest one to flag. But it's not to say like the people below him or whatever don't have some pretty fancy setup at home.
Of course they do.
Where they
Of
just,
course they do.
yeah,
100%. Dave, I wouldn't be surprised if a few of them have server racks sitting in their house. Like if you're a Red Bull engineer, you're probably paid well enough that every couple of months you can just be like, what's this new power edge, the Dell Power Edge that we've got in the office? I need 4 of them. And because it's private property, FIA can't really go in there and go, what do you got there for?
it's not even so much like them, say, going and buying it or whatever. You would probably, like stuff like that, the team could probably supply without even being within the cost cap.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, but they
I
might
just
even
happened
buy
to
themselves.
Yeah, I just happened to buy these mini supercomputers for their kids going to high school or whatever. They need.
I have
these.
I have an
I've got
iRacing
another job
server.
rendering.
Yeah,
I work for
bought this
Pixar.
rack.
And I need to render a lot of things.
yeah. I need to do it on the side because I don't get paid enough at Red Bull now because of this cost cap.
Yeah. Oh, Dave, I reckon Mercedes definitely has some sort of shared networking department
Of course they do.
where they can send them chunks of what can only be described like blocks of work, nondescript, things to work out.
And they do monitor because with the 2-week shutdown and that, they do monitor if the computers have been used, like at the office over those 2 weeks and whatever. But you also, like say with the cost cap thing, last year the FIA had 4 people working on finding the cost breaches.
Yep.
You mean Red Bull Catering Company?
This year they've got 10. So essentially each team's got one
Each
person
team has
working.
one person allocated to them, so it's going to be.
The teams would have a fucking team of accountants that are doing stuff to hide this shit.
Oh my,
Plus
Dave.
the stuff that the accountants have no fucking idea about that's happening in the background. So you could imagine whoever's in the FIA trying to police like the wind tunnel running, all that kind of stuff. There's no way that they then, if something's happening on the other side of the planet,
They're not going to be able to see it.
Big head office or whatever, where there's people that are smarter that are working around these rules.
But Dave, there'd also be just, each department would know what to sort of hide and what not to show. And then you'd have your team of lawyers, even if they weren't going to win, could just say things like, oh, I don't think Boovy's allowed in this room because this is, you need an NDA. And they're like, fine, we'll sign the NDA. Half an hour later, you've run in there, Dave. You've quickly removed whatever was in there. And then they've come back and gone, I don't know what you're talking about. This room just holds sandwiches. This is our catering room. We have 10 sandwiches here, all for you to eat.
Don't look at any of those hard drives that have been drilled out.
What do you mean? Those hard drives were never there. We can't afford all these hard drives. Now, come over to this other room, which we've already set up for you, so you can, you can check all this paperwork. Oh, what's that paperwork in the giant truck? Never mind. That's oh, but the thing is, Dave, you'd also know that they're coming over in 2 weeks. So you would have. From what I saw with Mercedes, it's basically they shut everything down, and that's when the computers do all their upgrades. Again, Booby, you'd know this. While you're upgrading a computer, you can do a lot of things on a computer.
Of course
You can make one computer look like it's upgrading 30 computers and it's using a lot of CPU, and then 28 of those computers are actually using their CPU for other things. And all you need to say is, oh, look, you wouldn't understand, but I'm upgrading all these machines, so they're going to be all offline right now. Don't look into it. Just look over here. You can get your photo taken with Lewis Hamilton in a VR suit.
Fun times.
Yeah. Speaking of Lewis Hamilton, I saw some interesting comments during the week that it's not very fair what Red Bull did with De Vries, not giving him a full season and just kicking him out, coming from the person in the team that would not even give him a shot.
Exactly.
They held De Vries,
for how long?
as a third driver or whatever, the kid kicking around the garage for year upon year. And yet what Red Bull did is unfair.
Dave, I think you got to remember, it's not what Lewis Hamilton did, it's what he said other teams have done. He has done no wrong. Everyone else is wrong except for him. You know what? If he was the team principal, he would be number one driver for Red Bull. But that's just Lewis. Lewis is a generous man, and he gives everyone he's an equal opportunist. You know what, Dave? If Lewis was still in charge, Latifi would still have a job too. That's how generous a man he is.
Well, Latifi would probably be his teammate, and then he would probably tell everyone how brilliant Latifi is, and we should keep him. It's great when Rob's not around to defend anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
I just amazes me how short-term that Lewis must be suffering from short-term memory loss.
Well, the complaint. It's boring because Red Bull's winning every race. Boring for you.
The same for you, but it was boring back in the day when Mercedes was winning every single race.
Yeah.
No, but Dave, Rob, that was Bobby, that was very different.
Hey.
Because he had to fight hard, and it wasn't anything to do with the car. Lewis is just the best driver on the planet, and you could have put him in a trolley, and he still would have beaten you.
Sure.
A trolley and two hair dryer motors. Except in 2016. There's something happened in 2016. We don't talk about it.
With a Monaco YouTuber.
Part-time, isn't he? He doesn't
part-time YouTuber that takes selfies and ruins weekends.
The other time he's cursing F1 teams once he uses his camera of misfortune.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about that. Is he well received in the F1 world?
Who?
Brittany.
Nico?
Yeah.
Don't think so.
From the sounds of it, Webber's still held in like fairly high regard. And like, you know, Irvine and what's the other old man that I was talking about? That Jordan.
Eddie Jordan.
Eddie Jordan. You know, they're still like old men that they like to talk to. But I feel like every time he's on, he just makes it about himself, and then gets annoyed when someone sort of mentions anything else that's not him being awesome. Like if anyone
he might not be. Thankfully he's not. He's not at every single race for Sky.
But it just feels like every time he's on, he's like, if someone says
he always brings that up.
Well, when it was at Monaco, and I think it was like they were chatting to Ricardo, and like they were saying, "Oh, you know, you've won here or whatever." You sort of got the impression that he was like standing there, like, "Oh, but I'm a champion. Someone talk to me."
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Sky have got him on there.
Well, he's not a full time. Like he's not at every race. I'm thankful for that. But they've got him for certain races, like the bigger ones.
Well, Bobby, that's because his cars in the Monaco garage will only go like to France, Monaco, maybe Italy.
Well, they do have because you've got like Danica that's doing a few rounds.
Yeah, she did a couple in
and then
Europe.
I think Hill's pretty limited now.
Yeah, I think Hill's not doing it.
Hill's not at every round. Yeah,
and Button does. I like Button. He's good value.
Button's good. They at least pulled the
rest.
We're not hearing him anymore.
Got rid of him.
They got rid of him, but you still got Anthony Davis. We still got Anthony, but he's all right.
Yeah, I don't mind Anthony.
But then we still got Charoon.
I actually don't mind. I know a lot of people don't like him for some reason.
No, he's not too bad, I reckon.
Because his knowledge is actually really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Which one's he?
The Indian.
Oh yeah, he's on the pre-show.
That's racist.
No, it isn't. Okay, he's a British
that's all right,
with Indian background.
A Turk said it.
If
I said it, it's racist.
He does the pre-show.
I'm the
doesn't
honorary
he?
ethnic on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the pre-show. He does.
Yeah.
He actually commentates for a couple of other things as well.
Yeah.
He does some commentary for some.
Yeah, his knowledge though, like he's really good. I think his family was
he
part
wasn't
of
the best.
No,
he wasn't exactly the best driver, but technically wise, he's actually really good. Like the way he's saying how the driver should be, like the way he explains, especially when they got the wall, is brilliant.
I like that wall.
Him and Ant.
That wall's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's probably the second best driver to come out of India.
He was the second best. Who's the first?
Probably Karthik. I think Karthikeyan's results were a little bit better.
Okay.
I think.
Well, there's a couple of Indians in the F2 as well. They're actually racing really well. They're doing really well. They're doing okay. Kushmani's I think somewhere in the top 10, and there's one other guy. I wasn't 100% sure exactly where he was, but there's a couple of Indians in F2. I'm not sure about F3 though.
Hey, Booby, how many Turkish F1 F2 drivers are there?
None.
Oh, okay.
That's why I go back to the Aussie thing.
What about F3?
Hey, I'm dual citizen, so it works out. It works out for both.
Without that, look, I'm trying to think if a Turkish F1 driver.
No Turkish F1 drivers, but we've had Superbike champions, and I think there is a Turkish guy in Moto 2 at the moment as well.
Okay.
So yeah. And then there was a Turkish guy racing in Porsche Cup last year, but not this year.
Interesting.
No,
because they're like, especially, I mean, Turkey's a proper country. It's not one of these, like you can understand, and some of the smaller African countries and things like that, you can understand if, say, they've never had a Formula One driver. Like, okay, that makes sense. Or a small country like Tasmania, fair enough. But Turkey's a fairly, and it is fairly European as well.
It is fairly European, but they're not really big on motorsports.
Yeah,
they're not as big on motorsports. Like they're definitely big in other sports, but motorsports they've got a few people like they're very big in there's a lot of Turks coming through on the bikes. But in terms of actual F1 and that, I don't think anybody's really shown any talent at the moment.
That I'd imagine that'd be a bit like with Spain, where they have a real rich kind of heritage with bikes, the motorbike racing. Whereas they're Formula One and even motorsport in general is a little bit limited until more recently.
Exactly, and then you've got the Scandinavian countries where you look at it, most of them do rally. But then then from the rally you get one or two guys that will actually do F1 as well. Yeah.
But you get like Finland, I'd imagine their population and whatever's a lot less than say Turkey.
We're talking about probably 15 times less.
Yeah.
But it's just that motorsport is the national sport in Finland. That's a different.
I don't think it's a national sport. Wasn't it just that they always just stayed out?
No. It's a national sport.
And then they just had to get
national sport.
And they just decided, I'll take it sideways around a tree because, everyone drives in a straight line. Anyone can do that, but I can go around a moose going sideways.
Exactly in the middle of winter in the snow.
Yeah. I'd imagine their driving on an F1 track would almost just be too easy. It'd be like, I don't even need to find a proper line and just
you saw Mika Häkkinen, how he did back in the late 90s, how it was Schumacher. Basically, Schumacher said he was the only guy that he feared.
Yeah, I think that was also a bit of a psychological dig at
Mika.
Oh no, like a dig at Hill.
Oh yeah,
Villeneuve,
Hill. Oh
Montoya.
yeah, and everybody else. Exactly.
Yeah, I
Don't
think
worry,
that was part of
don't
the
worry.
psychological warfare.
Okay. But let me put it this way: I've still got my Williams, Montoya Williams model sitting on my bookshelf. So I just love the way Montoya. He just came in and said, "No, I'm going to drive like I did an IndyCar, and that's it," and just piss off a bunch of people.
Yep.
Actually, speaking of people pissing off did you see Max driving his what was it, Valkyrie with one hand?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't see
The
that.
latest thing is that if he gets arrested, he might lose the championship.
Well, how does he lose the championship?
How does he lose the championship by getting arrested?
Because again, I'm reading this off Twitter, so obviously it's up here journalism.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
But
you mean X. It's
Yeah,
not Twitter anymore.
that's right. It's called DMX.com. So DMX told me, basically, because then he can go to prison and you can't win the championship in prison or something. I didn't really look into it that much. I just thought it was funny that he was driving a car at like 140 miles an hour in one hand and everyone's losing their mind and seemed to forget it's his job to literally drive super fast at a slowest, like 140 miles an hour for him is just you and I doing 20 kilometers and going one hand. Oh, look at me. I'm driving down a residential street with one hand. I'm a madman.
What? Because I only saw a bit of the clip. I haven't seen any of the Twitter stories or whatever. Was it on Autobahn or something, or was it down a street where it was illegal to be doing that?
I don't know what road it was on. I'm imagining it's probably on a fairly controlled, like an Autobahn type or freeway.
Because the clip I saw, it looked more Autobahnish than
It looked too straight to be. It looked too straight and too highway-ish, not to be.
It was in a tunnel.
Where was it?
I'm looking at the clip right now. It's in a tunnel, and he's one-handed, and he was selecting something on the control.
Yeah, he was selecting his FIFA Ultimate Team.
Turbo boosters.
So basically, he was
got to hit the
I'll
nose.
rewatch it again. There's a passenger. And then there's Max. He's driving in a tunnel. Don't know where it is. He's
Probably Lando.
Could be Lando. He's selecting.
He's like, if you sit in the car with me, I'll make you my driver for 2024.
We'll deal with that. Trouble for that. Oh my god, people are. That's Twitter.
Didn't Lewis get in trouble in Melbourne for doing doughies at Albert Park?
I did a burnout, outside. I think, leaving the track. Yeah.
I think if you're an F1 driver, even though I do like seeing Lewis Hamilton get in trouble, I think if you're an F1 driver and you're at the job, that's a job site. You're doing a bit of work and you're leaving a bit of art. carry on.
Let me put it this way. According to a YouTube watch thing, Max Verstappen could be persecuted for driving his Valkyrie at 120 kilometers per hour.
Oh, 120?
120.
That's almost legal in Australia.
Yeah, I think he was going a bit faster than.
Well, anyway, that's what the description said on YouTube. That's what the description said.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was actually doing like high.
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was doing that.
Doing 120 is the equivalent of me doing 10 kilometers reversing out of a driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
probably isn't even in second gear in one of those things.
I think he would have just put it into second, Dave. He's redlined it to what, 13 and a half and gone, time to change the gears.
It's crazy. Anyway, there's just people have got too much time and they've gone, what? And they've got nothing else to complain about.
Yeah, Lando's filming it and he's like, help me get on the YouTubes. And he's like, that's all right, I'll do it.
Hey.
Oh, we've finished bashing all of his favourite drivers.
I know, now he joins us. What else we got to talk about?
There's lots of notes about some of the IndyCar driver things, but I think I'll go through that again with Rob when
he's back.
Yeah. When we do our special show.
Yep. 117 kilometres an hour What's the
If
fine
that's-
going to be? Unless it's Australia, that's what 6 demerit points
Or
and
the
a
UK.
fine.
Or the
Or
UK.
the UK.
But everywhere
If
else in
that's
the
in
world,
Europe,
it's like,
that's a bottle of red wine to the police chief, isn't it?
or basically, it's basically, here's some money inside.
No, you know what it'll be? It'll be take a photo of us inside the police station and sign a couple of hats.
And it'll be
And,
like,
and
yeah,
then
we're
and
good.
then maybe make a community service video. Like many years ago, Dave, you might enjoy this. There was a kick the circular ball along the grass. He got in trouble for letting fireworks inside his house and had to make a PSA to tell people don't let fireworks off in your house. Oh, that's right. He was wearing
yeah.
headphones.
Mm.
Yeah, he was.
He had the
was
big. They
Yeah, he
were,
had
they
the-
were
Yeah.
the racing ones.
Why did he have them on?
Because I
Too
think
loud.
the engine is because it's
It's
the
ridiculously loud.
it's the Austin Martin
Yeah,
Valkyrie
Valkyrie.
thing,
Yeah,
which
so
I don't
it's got
think
a massive,
cares about
massive.
rider noise. Like
It probably
cabin
doesn't
noise-
have to pass the Australian EPA laws.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
hell
the
no.
cabin noises, Dave, was low on the priority of things that it needed to do. It was do 0 to 60 in 1 second. What about cabin noise? Headphones, you've got them right.
Exactly. Talking to
Yeah, because he was playing with the head. It was like he was doing a DJ set.
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, because he was touching, like you had one hand here, he was doing the buttons here, everything was just
You know
crazy.
you know what he was doing, Dave? He was doing a remix of the Dutch national anthem and Supermax together. He's like, I'm going to be playing this next week anyway. I might as well make one that I like. And that I've seen my favorite meme of knowing that next week you have to hear the Dutch national anthem twice at the start of the race and at the end. They should just play it throughout the day just to get people used to the
Yeah,
sound of it.
If you're not used to it by now, come on.
yeah.
I thought the Valkyrie was
No,
motor.
that's pure V12. That's pure V12 power.
Is it? I thought it
The
was like a
Valkyrie.
hybrid.
No, pure V12.
Ah,
Cannot confirm nor deny.
yeah.
6.5 liter V12.
Nice.
But there's no hybridness.
With a 6.5 liter V12 with a 160 horsepower or 119 kilowatt electric engine.
There you go. Hybrid.
So it is a hybrid.
Hybrid.
Yeah.
We were
Hybrid,
right
running
all along.
Yeah.
running a
$4.5 million.
Yeah, crazy.
Does that mean
And
you
let's
can park in like Tesla parking at the supermarket?
Of course it could, because it's got a 1.3 kilowatt hour battery on it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Andrea. Max did not pay for that car.
Of course he did.
They basically begged him to take it and like, please drive our car. You'll make us look cool. But don't forget your DJ headphones when you're doing a remix going through a tunnel at 120 kilometers an hour.
Okay, so total
And
power output. Holy crap, that's some power.
On a scale of 1 to CX3, Boovy, how much power have we got?
CX3 times 10.
Wow, that's a fair amount because the CX3
I'm surprised it's only got like 450 horsepower.
What? It's 1140. It's 1140 horsepower total. That's nuts.
So it's only a little bit more powerful than my car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I can park anyway, Max.
Also,
Don't worry about
Max can park in the supermarket and Checo can park at the casino.
that. Or on top of a roof. He thinks it's DJ Khaled. Comment of the night.
Dave, I'm calling that early. That's the comment of the year.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
If I
Any other
find
serious
anything
news
good
we
in,
want to
in
talk about, or
Vegas, we can give out awards.
Oh yeah. Is there anything serious you want to talk about?
Massa going ahead with his court case.
Yes. I want this to go to the highest court in the land. Even if he doesn't win, I just want it to open up a can of worms. So Lewis can now go after Max for 2021 and then find out that even if the race didn't count, he would still lose.
The problem was, don't worry about that one.
See, once again though, if Massa's race gets If the race gets null avoided, Massa does become
He becomes
champion
world champion.
then.
Yeah.
But then the funny thing is, if that sets a precedent for like 2021,
Yeah.
well, if
Lewis
that
still
race gets
loses.
stolen, yeah. So
Oh, if it
that
becomes
would be hilarious. 6-time world champion.
yeah.
No, he'd still
you
be
know what'd be
seventh.
great,
Oh, yeah.
Dave? If let's say Massa wins his case,
Yeah.
Yeah.
who you think? Remember when George won third and he bicycle or whatever rode over and gave it to Rookie of the Year, saying like,
Yeah.
"Sorry." Do you think Lewis would have the humor to bring it over and go, "Hey, Massa,
Oh, hell no.
I think you dropped this."
Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
No hard feelings, and then just have what's he called, Rookie of the Year, going, "I remember that race, but I don't remember everything because I wasn't told anything." Remember that I know nothing, so leave me out of this.
He never questioned the strategy while he was in that race.
No.
Because you know what,
Definitely
Dave?
did
If that went to court, they would have to question Rookie of the Year, and
They
under
would.
oath, they would have to ask him, "Were you aware of anything?" He'd be like, "No, speak English." "Oh, look at the time! I have to go." Now, excuse me. I
But
need
the
to
problem
take
is,
this
though,
big sack
even
of
though it's
money
going to court,
home.
all right, even though it's going to court, is it? I don't think the FIA really does.
It will never get that far, Booby. It will get as
wouldn't,
far
because
as
it's just
Massa producing like all his Twitter evidence and them going, "Why are you still here? Go home, you old man. Haven't you got anything better to do?"
all right. A
But
mistake was
Dave's
made.
right.
That's it.
If Massa wins, I want to see just every year frivolous lawsuits. I want to see Toto and Christian fighting each other instead, and it would just be called Jury to Survive. And it's instead of Drive to Survive, it's
It'll
just
be in a courtroom.
It's just a 10-part Law and Order courtroom drama with Toto and Christian Horner just yelling at each other and being told off by their lawyers that we question them, not you. You just have to sit down and keep quiet. And then both of them get thrown out of court, and then it's just filming them two bickering like school children, going, "See what you did? You got us kicked out." No, Christian, this is all wrong. You got us kicked out. Now, where's my pumpernickel? I would watch that show, and it would be the boringest show on the planet.
It would be. So
And
you
then
want to
you
talk
have-
the IndyCar stuff? You'll talk with Rob later, Dave.
Yeah, we'll cover that because
Yeah,
Matt gets bored with IndyCar stuff.
yeah. You can see
Matt,
his eyes
what is
glaze
it? Matt
over.
zones out, and
Matt zones out time.
and then two monkeys in my head just start playing cymbals together.
We need Matt to be on top of his game.
Yeah, exactly. At least I can.
Every so often, Dave, there's a monkey riding an elephant with a trumpet. When you talk, and then as soon as I hear Stingray, I snap out of it and like, now we're talking.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Stingray Rob. He's going to get a second run
See.
next year.
I saw that.
Okay.
I've
Obviously,
all of a
his results
sudden
weren't
lost
good enough.
interest in Indy cars again.
I haven't. I'll try and watch more races next year and this year.
Three
F2.
to go.
3 to go. Is that all there is? Damn.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see.
Yeah.
The problem is I tried to watch the last couple of races, but I couldn't seem to find them where I normally find them.
Stan
I won't
Sport.
give any.
I was going to say, isn't it Stan Sport?
Yeah.
I don't have Stan. I don't have Stan.
Well, Dave's got to work on Pepsi Max and Stan Sport becoming our sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we've all
Probably
got Foxtel. We've got that
Probably
covered.
should be nice
We should be nice to Stan.
to them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, your
It's,
replay feature's nice.
Pointing out their flaws.
Although it's creative criticism.
Yeah. I'm trying
not
to
angry.
improve the
We're trying
platform.
to improve the platform. We're trying to make it better. Maybe you can steal some ideas from another platform,
Yeah.
which will make
It's
it
not
better.
It sounds like my report card in high school.
Yeah.
You do well, you get easily distracted and could do a lot better.
Yeah.
And you distract the other streams in class.
One thing I really do like with stand in comparison though. If I'm watching something on the bedroom TV and I get halfway through and pause it or whatever, and then I want to watch the rest of it on the lounge room TV, I can resume from that point.
Resumes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas, like, I've got a big
KO.
problem at the moment on KO because I'll
Yeah.
watch a lot of stuff at like double speed on
Yep.
the computer because you still get the commentary and whatever. So all that shit before the race or whatever, you can listen to it. But then when you skip the ad breaks, it'll come back and it'll jam
At
it on
normal
like
speed.
normal speed, and you have to refresh the browser
No,
Oh.
no.
to
What
get
you
it.
do
But
is
it
you
will
press.
then no.
Oh,
it,
you have
like,
to completely
locks.
refresh the
Yeah,
browser.
you
Oh, does
can't.
it? Okay.
Yeah, you can't push the
CE scooter.
CE scooter. Yeah, you can't. It just locks it, so it still says it's doing double speed, but it's actually on back to normal speed.
Actually, I've noticed that as well.
So it's not just me.
No, it's not just you. I've noticed that as
Jerks.
well.
And then you like refresh it, and you go back to the start
You
again.
have to, start again.
And then you've got
to
to
find
fast forward back to where you were, which is quite
Exactly.
frustrating. Yeah,
It is.
whereas with Stan, you can actually watch it in different rooms and whatever, and know where
So-
you're up to.
it. Exactly. Why can't we just go
What?
back to having one service when it was so much easier to watch everything just on one thing and
Yep.
pay one amount per month?
Yeah,
Because
But
now
it ain't gonna
it'd be an exorbitant. It'd be like $200 a month.
That's true too. All right.
So
which
we
is probably what we're paying for all of these streaming services.
that is
Anyway,
true.
yeah, exactly.
Dave, you're not going to believe it, but Rob messaged me just before with his
yeah.
predictions.
Oh, yeah,
told
we
him-
gotta
Let's
do
predictions.
So
Let's do
Rob
predictions.
has gone. He doesn't even think Max going to win. He says Max is washed up and he's done. he said this race it's all Mr. Stroll's time to shine. 1-2 Jag finish and a order of merit from the King of
Jag or
Jag.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. One of them. Rob was drunk at the time when he told me this, so he was just blurting out. He also thinks Sargent's going to get a top 10 finish just for bonus points. And he's got Norris to finish in third.
I hope we'll filling out the spreadsheet.
I've got the spreadsheet open.
Um,
Dave, who do you think this week at the Zandvoort or the Zandvoort?
Lando
Lando
in
for second.
second. Yeah.
Third.
Let's do McLaren. We'll go with Piastri.
Piastri.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hmm.
Piastri. Okay.
Yeah,
And,
and then Leclerc for fourth.
So no Checo and no George or Lewis.
Nah. You can, if you want to tip them, you can.
No, I'm not.
Right,
I'm
Matt.
not. I don't want to lose
These-
points.
These,
I need
these are
points.
my tips. There's a reason I'm last.
You're equal last. You're equal last. All right. So that Matt, this week, who do you think?
Let's go. Oh, I don't want to say it, but I feel like Lewis is going to be. You put Lewis at 3. Nah, Lewis at 3.
2 or 3? Okay.
3. And at 2.
Yep.
Just who's the other Ferrari guy now? I don't even care.
Signs.
Yeah,
Sainz.
just chuck him in at 2. I don't even
And
know.
last and fourth.
There's a reason why I'm joint last with Dave.
Oh, wait a second. Hey. We're doing a new one this week too. Dave, 10th.
What's that?
Who's finishing
10th?
10th? Yes.
Ricardo.
Danny Rick. Everyone knows. It's just that's the answer for everybody, Rob. Movie. You don't need to ask. He's getting 10th.
All
And
right,
I'm
you're-
fourth. I'm going to take our boy Aussie Oscar.
Piastri.
Aussie Oscar.
Piastri. Okay.
And Danny Rick to get 10th, but also secretly maybe 7th.
Or fifth.
All right.
It rains and he gets a cheeky 5.
Yeah.
All right. So
What's the
I am
weather for the
going-
weekend?
You know what, Dave? If Dan gets points, I'm going to phone in just to heckle Rob. It'll just be footage of me yelling at the phone and yelling at Rob. I will go
all right,
out of
I'm
my
putting
way
my
in
tips in.
Vegas to find a Danny Rick Vegas hat.
All right, let me see. I will choose for second. I'm going with Leclerc.
How is Boovy beating us with this kind of guessing?
Third, I will go
Because he
Hamilton.
changes the results after the race.
Yeah, I know. He's saying Hamilton now, but he's like, no, I always said the guy that won. And to come first, Dave, I pick fourth driver. And for 10th, number 10.
All right, so I've got Leclerc.
He knows there's no chance we're going to review this afterwards.
Yeah,
To double check.
So
We're
Bobby's
just
I always wrote down this guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I've gone Leclerc to finish second, Hamilton to finish third, Norris to finish fourth, and Ricciardo 10th.
Well,
And
everyone
Rob-
has to do 10 this, Rob. Oh, no, I've
Rob's
got
not-
Rob. He sent it to me privately. He said Logan Sargent number 2.
I've got it.
No,
it's on the
that's
it's
not
on
Rob.
the
His
group
account's
sheet.
been hacked. He's going for Sergeant Stroll.
He's actually tipping a non-max win this weekend.
I know.
Ooh.
He's gone Norris, Hamilton, and Alonso.
So wait,
and he's
if Rob gets the winner correct, does he get like 10 points or something?
No. If he gets 10th place right, that's when you get 10 points.
But what about he's picked Aussie Oscar to win?
Yeah.
He should get
I don't know.
points
That's not
for
part of
that,
the
will he?
tipping comp. That's not part of the tipping comp, though.
Oh.
We decided we're going to
Dave?
get second to.
It sounds like a dictatorship of Bobby making up the rules. He's scared of competition.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter. We can't win anyway.
Dave, you know who? We're Logan Sargent and Stroll. We're just here for the ride, you know.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Yeah,
it.
we're here for a
shouldn't
good
be here.
time.
Yeah,
Not a long time.
We shouldn't be here. We're here for the wrong reasons.
We're just going to enjoy it while we're here
Exactly.
and not listen to any of the criticism.
Nope.
Exactly.
Basically, we in our minds we're Alonso, but in the tipping we're Stroll.
Oh boy. And also, we've got F2 this week.
Yeah,
this weekend
Dave,
as well.
Dave, if you don't deserve me at my Stroll, you don't get me at my Alonso.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. This week, track. Well, you got to go the basic top three. So Vesti, Porsche
Max.
or Martins. Mix. No. This is F2.
Yeah, Max.
Isn't Max having a crack at it this weekend? Just for fun?
I think he is too. He wants to try it.
Part
this year.
of
It's a part of
the
his
side quest.
Yeah,
It's a side quest.
Yeah.
Although, funnily
I'm
enough,
gonna win F2 and F1 in the same year.
Dave. You know when they have like side quests in some video games and it says you at that moment how difficult it is. On all of his, it just says very easy, trivial.
The funny thing, because he never did F2, he might be like,
No, he
let's
never
go
did.
back and complete that. You know, like when you get to the end of Gran Turismo or whatever, and you've like won all
like,
the
let's go
races.
back.
And, you're
And
like,
then all of a sudden you
I'll
look
go
at it
back and get like gold licenses or whatever.
I'll go back and do the Suzuki Cup, but I'm going to use this Suzuki drag racing car, and it still currently fits because it's a Suzuki.
Suzuki, and your car's been hotted up to the max, but it still counts because.
Do you
it's part of
reckon,
the
Dave,
quest.
that was one of his side missions? It was get milk before the shop closes. You can take whatever car you want, including the Valkyrie.
I think so.
Oh, Rob wants to lose some money again.
I think this is a fairly safe bet at the moment.
Yeah, it would be.
Because now that Pelot's out of coming in,
Yeah.
and then with all the teams are very risk averse now. I mean, we just saw Magnussen and Hulkenberg get signed for another year.
So they're not really
So-
going for.
So do you reckon everyone that's on a chair right now in musical chairs is safe?
One's definitely not.
Is his name Yuki?
No,
No.
Is it?
he's not the most questionable right now.
I mean, there's a few questionable,
Yeah.
but supposedly they want to keep Haas want to keep him for some reason.
No, Checo's probably the most.
Oh,
Because
you reckon?
Yuki, at the moment, they probably haven't got enough reason to axe him.
Well, he's
Like-
I think Netflix. He's Netflix Silver, and Danny
Yeah.
is Netflix Gold, and then
Yeah.
your bronze is
Yeah.
anyone else.
And
really.
if they are taking, well, when they take Dan from, they probably will still want someone who's got some appeal in that team for the new sponsors. So,
Well,
yeah.
Can you see
And
Yuki wearing a Hugo Boss suit? Because I can see Dan wearing one.
What is Haas?
Yeah.
So they've
but
only got a 1 year contract each.
Yeah. But then I think Ulkenberg was only on a 1 year.
Yeah, so they're both
Anyway.
extending their contracts for another year.
Yeah.
I love Lance Stroll's rolling contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Boovy, every dinner time, he rolls into dinner and says, "Hey, Dad, am I driving next week?" He's like, "Yeah, whatever. I was meant to find someone new." No, sure. Go
Okay,
nuts.
Just checking it out. So Sauber is at
Also,
the moment.
every time he comes to dinner, Rookie of the Year's already at dinner earlier because he obviously
Yep.
gets there quicker than his son would show up. And they're
All
always having like an awkward conversation. They have to stop quickly before he comes into the room. What were you talking about, Dad? Nothing, son. We were just discussing engine telemetries.
All right,
None
so
of your
according
concern.
What's
So
that?
according to according to
Exactly,
Planet
Lance. Go
F1.
back to your toy cars. Dad, in this I drive a Lamborghini. Of course you do, Lance. Of course you do.
All
My Lamborghini can fly. Lance, can you take that to the study? The grown-ups need to talk.
All right. So according to Planet F1, this is the current contract situation. Max, he's on that mega contract till the end of 2028.
Yep.
Max
Perez
is there until he starts to lose, and then he'll quit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
He'll do
Perez,
a equal machinery
although Perez is
out.
2024.
Nah, he's gone. Dave told me he's gone.
Yep. I have a Hugo suit.
Oh, I just got it confirmed. Rob's the new driver for AlphaTauri next year. You can put
Ferrari,
take that
both
to
their
the bank.
drivers. Ferrari,
boss.
both drivers are contracted till next week. Next year.
Next
end of this
week.
year.
Sweet.
Next week. Oh, the way they're going, possibly. Who knows?
Just like their team principal.
Yep.
Dave, do you reckon at the end of each race they're like, "Now, how do you reckon that went, engineers? Should I be sticking around or am I going?"
Heading out.
Yeah.
According to this, the Mercedes drivers lineup is to be considered for both spots.
Yeah, I don't think either of them actually got a contract.
No,
for
none of
next
them,
year.
and they don't have anybody signed up for them because they're both their
Yeah.
deals end at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Keep George, and Lewis can save the planet in a hot air balloon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alpine or
Ooh.
Renault or whatever they want to be called now.
Both of them are contract for next year, aren't they? And
Both
then
of them
they're
are
up.
contract to next year, and then Gasly has a 1 year extension option on top of that.
Keep Gasly.
Yeah, Ocon you probably got to get rid of.
Yeah.
McLaren is Lando till 2025, Oscar to the end of 2024. I got a
You know
feeling
what?
they'll
Both of
extend
them
both
can
those
stay.
contracts. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Sauber is one spot available, and
Yes, please.
our third favorite Australian is contracted at the end of 2025.
He just needs
Is
to.
he contracted for that long?
Yep, he's got a contract at the end of 2025.
Shit.
Yeah, he's got a decent contract. He did well with his contract negotiation.
Yeah.
You've impressed Dave.
Definitely
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
Aston
Well,
Martin,
well done.
Mr. Rookie of the Year, end of next year.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, Stroll, rolling contract.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got
Dad,
two
am I
Haas
in
boys.
the team? It's been considered, son.
And then Haas has basically got both drivers next year again.
Yep.
And then AlphaTauri, it says both seats at TBC.
Yeah, neither of them have.
Neither of them have contracts.
Yeah, Dan's only got a 1 year.
Or the 6
Dan-
whatever it is.
Dan has a,
But no,
a
Dan's
Red
technically
Bull
a Red Bull
contract.
reserve.
He's
Red-
on loan.
Yeah.
He's on loan.
Yeah.
And then Williams is TBC for one seat, which is Sargent's, and
Yeah.
Alex
Albon's
Albon.
contractors.
Albon's contract until next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the contract situation that I found on the interwebs.
Yeah. That all sounds.
That sounds
Pretty
about
much
right
right.
at the moment.
Yeah.
It sounds like Sargent's going to be keeping a seat he doesn't deserve, and him and Checo can have a little meeting. Like, I can't believe we're still here. Nor can I. It's the best.
And I can see it happening.
Right.
All
I
right.
think
We're pretty much done for tonight.
we've covered everything.
Yep.
Max to win.
Next
I'll and then
Danny to at
I'll
least get him the points.
I'm now on. I've also been sent to Harvard Business School for 6 weeks.
You on annual leave?
I'm
You're on
on
annual leave?
annual gardening business leave, and I'll
So
try
you'll
to send you updates, Dave, from Dallas and other locations that maybe do not help.
Do
this,
a few pre-records?
Yep.
Yep.
I will record when we're in Vegas and give
Yep.
you a very, very early track report and weather
Nice.
report.
And next week we're going to try and pre-record something because myself and Rob will also be out of the normal state we reside in for work purposes.
So basically,
be-
it's not going to be Booby doing the itchy and the Krusty the Clown.
Yeah.
Taco and,
Well, I remember I did that once, the solo live stream,
Oh, geez,
and it wrecked my throat
Vocal.
for it was about a week before my voice came back.
If I knew that, I actually could have helped out that week, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, I said I sent the message, but it was too late.
Yeah, we weren't really prepared back then for all this stuff.
wait, we're prepared now?
Well,
We
Rob
have some
makes notes for us.
Exactly.
Well, Rob
Sure,
now
tried
Sure,
to
we
follow.
ignore most of it, but there is show notes.
You know what? It's good that Rob puts in the effort because we don't.
Yeah.
Here, guys, I wrote 300 words that you can ignore.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
All right.
All right, boys.
Well, we'll see everyone at some point.
At some
There
point,
will be something for next week. Anyway, we'll see you
there'll
then.
be something for next week. Not a problem. I think let's put the glasses on.
Yeah, glasses on, Dave.